Okay, so we're live. That's a thing now. And the entire interface here is different. It's not like at all what it used to be. So I don't really understand all of the ins and outs of this new live streaming platform. That's fine. We're just going to roll with it because, like, that's a thing, right? Right? It's been a week. It has been a hell of a week. And not in like all of the lovely good ways. I am starting a new job, which has been a heck of an adventure. I am not sure how I feel about this. I've been at my at my previous job. I was there for almost 5 years, and it was my first job out of college. Like, I was very comfortable. I knew what I was doing, and this is not that at all, which is a thing that happens and not necessarily a bad thing. I cut my own hair. I took a bath and then I had a glass of wine and I just said, screw it. And I cut my own hair and I'm kind of digging it. At the same time, it was so satisfying to see like 6 pounds of hair in my sink. It was so satisfying. I'm not sure that I am going to love this forever. I might regret this in 2 weeks. Who knows? But hey, I can't change it now. Bloop. She hatched out her chicks. Of the 5, 4 are now gone, thanks to a combination of heat and then some real nasty behavior on the part of Henrietta specifically. Not about that. So the one who is left, 3 of them were gone as of this afternoon when I got home from work. So the one who is left is now in the bathroom in a setup by herself, bless her heart, with a heat lamp and like food and water. Honestly, it's probably better for her because it's going to be like 110 tomorrow in freaking Minnesota, which is ridiculous. And I don't know how to human lately, guys. I just really don't. I feel like so much of things have been changing around me. That's nothing any of you has control over. Basically, the idea is that I've had a lot of anxiety in the last couple months about the idea of staying in my prior job. I've had a lot of anxiety about the idea of moving to a new job. I don't know who I am or who I want to be in a lot of ways, and so I decided to make a big change. That also meant that I didn't do a lot of reading. It was mostly a lot of me being anxious. So this is me being my most honest. I, for a long time, from basically my entire adult life, since I was about 18 and a half, have been diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. And so I have been dealing with the fact that I need to change my life. I've been dealing with the fact that I am really, if I step back and I think emotionally, I am ready for a change. And the difference between feeling ready for a change and knowing in my anxiety lizard brain that is something that needs to happen. And now has. And I made that leap. And I maybe want to vomit every day after I get home from work. It's only been like 4 days. So that probably won't last, thank God. But yeah, it's kind of a terrible week to like have your whole life change because hello, upheaval in the United States justice system. That's just a thing. But I hope that explains maybe a little why I haven't been reading lately. That doesn't mean I haven't been getting books or wanting to read books. It just means I haven't been reading. I have listened to a couple of books on audiobook because that has been a lot more doable for me. I think it's a combination of like when I'm anxious, I need to move. I need to be doing something. And so having an audiobook on while I read or while I clean allows me to kind of do both a little bit. And that has been a real relief. So I listened to, what is it, New York Witches or something like that. It's a book that came out last year. I listened to a couple of others. Don't trust my Goodreads. My Goodreads is not up to date. It never is up to date. I have such good intentions with Goodreads, and it never works. So I finished Wild Seed, I finished A Door into Ocean, and I finished The Witches of New York. I also last week finished The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. So I actually have not been terribly far behind on my Goodreads challenge. I'm real behind, but I'm not like ungodly far behind or anything I can't keep up with. It's just a matter of like getting the will to actually physically read books. Right now, what I've been working through is The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one. It's actually a poetry collection. I picked it up at Target by Amanda Lovelace. And admittedly, like mostly what caught my eye about it was this, and the book next to it just seemed very like irreverent, very rebellious. And I'm feeling that in my soul right now. I'm so frustrated and so unsure about how I feel about the world that feels so natural. It's also making it so hard to read actual narrative, like long form fiction. I'm trying. I have right now, I have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I'm not sure that I'm saying that right. This is one that my friend Jacob has read. I'm going to link to his review probably in the long form. I'm not sure actually that he has a review up, but he is fantastic. And I really trust his opinions, except for that he likes The Expanse, and I absolutely don't like The Expanse. It's okay. You can hate me for that. That's fine. And so I'm trying to figure out kind of how I feel about that. And I'm trying to figure out a balance in my new job of how to read and kind of how to manage like the personal with the professional. My previous job, it was one of those cases where when you were busy, you didn't sit down for like 3 days. But when we were not busy, it was dead for 2 weeks. And so when we weren't busy, I read a lot. And that was awesome. And this is not the case with this new job. And that's a change, not a bad change by any means, but it means I have to kind of reevaluate my personal life and how I have been dividing my time. I should say, really been looking forward to reading Summerland by Hanura Yanyemi. I know that Elizabeth recently unboxed this. I've actually had it for quite a while and I haven't picked it up. It's actually not long at all here. I should show you. So from the side, it's like this big. That's like nothing. We know that's nothing. If you read science fiction and fantasy, like I expect 700 pages for my complicated books, and this is not that. This is like it does not even with the acknowledgments hit like 300 pages. So I'm hoping to read this over some of my lunchtime. That's also been a big change because my previous job, we got paid for a full hour of lunch, and now I only get paid for a half hour of lunch. Basically, moving from public to private sector has been a big shift. Hi to Rachel, who is in the chat. God, I'm looking forward to going to Worldcon. I'm so looking forward to going to Worldcon. I can't stay as long as I would have because of this new job, and I don't have like the time in PTO to do that. But I'm so excited. I'm excited to see Rachel. Joe from Final Blow. Joe is coming. I think Paul is coming. Claire is coming. Fun fact, she used me as a contact for some of her travel stuff, which was awesome. And we're going to go see the Winchester House, which is going to be freaking fantastic. If you have not read about Sarah Winchester and the Winchester House, It is an amazing story. I would suggest reading the Wikipedia page before you go and watch like any of the movie adaptations because they're all terrible. But Sarah Winchester is she was the heir to the Winchester fortune, and the Winchester fortune refers specifically to the Winchester guns. She built her entire mansion basically without a singular like unifying plan, and it's all scary and crazy, and maybe there are ghosts, who knows. There are like staircases that go to nowhere, scary stuff. We're gonna go there and I'm looking forward to it. And then there's I have the new Mary nope, that's not what I'm looking for. What am I trying to think? I'll go for something else first. I picked up Marisha Pessel's new book. I didn't actually read her first book, The Night film, but I know that she's really well liked in the YA genre. So I picked this up. It sounded relatively interesting. It kind of sounds like a murder mystery where you have to kind of go back to the scene of the crime and then figure out what happened. That appeals to me. It's also really short. I did get Calculating Stars by Koal. That is what I was going to talk about. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel's in the chat right now, and she asked if I got Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Kowal, which I did get, and is in my car right now. And I'm super excited to try to read it over lunches. Rachel started it, and she says it's good, and I don't doubt that. I loved Lady Astronaut of Mars. I love Mary Robinette Kowal. And so I've not been scared to read it. I just have yet to have the time. And also it showed up like 2 days ago. Basically, Mary Robinette Kowal is a goddess. That's just fact. So those are the things I have on my nonfiction reading list. On my fiction reading list. On my nonfiction reading list, it's actually just a cookbook about the things you can get at the farmer's market near us. I have a CSA box, or community supported agriculture box, which is kind of like a surprise, like subscription box. It shows up every week at my local co-op, and I pick it up, and there are like vegetables I don't know about in there. I still have yet to know what to do with kohlrabi. So if you have a kohlrabi recipe you like, let me know. So I have more vegetables in my house than I know what to do with right now. It's kind of a consistent summer problem for me. One of the cool things that I've been able to do this year is I signed up for a mushroom share, which is like, now I have yellow oyster mushrooms in my fridge, and I'm learning what to do with them. So that's fun. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab the baby chick. Again, this is the last lonely baby. Bloop doesn't care anymore. She gave up on them. I think it's because today's heat index was like 100 degrees and tomorrow's is 105. And like the chances of a 2-day-old chick lasting in that temperature is not great. So I brought the last remaining one inside. Let me go ahead and grab her. Hold on. Okay. This is the baby. She's a Polish Frizzle, which means that she's kind of going to be about as big as Bloop, which is like 3 pounds. And when full grown, she's going to have like a weird, it would be a mohawk if it stood up full length, but her hair will like split in the middle. Fun fact, I also had a random caterpillar, which I think is a swallow butterfly or a swallow moth, in my herb planter, which is real weird because that's been in my house for like 3 weeks and nothing has really been in and out. But anyway, this is the baby. Help me figure out a name for her. I feel like she needs a name, and it's going to help her be a happier, healthier baby. She's not pleased about being inside. No, you're not, are you? No, it's okay. But understandably, Bloop kind of left the babies all to themselves in the heat. And so this little one has come inside to live with me. Her little feathers are so soft. Anyway, so I'm thinking I might read the Marisha Pessl book if I don't read the poetry book first. I'm not really sure. There's so much anxiety about like starting a new job. There's just so much stuff I don't know. Like I wish I knew, but I feel so in over my head, and there's like only so many exercise writing sample things I can do. I don't know. It's its own kind of adventure here. I'll keep you in frame. There you go. There you go. I'll make up with the name for this girl. She definitely needs a name so that she is just like, she's in it to win it. Have an idea? She should be a girl because this one, she's got the feathers that make it so that she should be a girl. What would you like your name to be? Ooh. I don't have any food in my palm. I'm sorry. I should have brought some for you. Oh, Wobble. Wobble's a cute name. Rachel says Wobble, which is adorable. I will wait to see if there are any other selections. The honeybees, for those of you who might be concerned, just probably like none of you, they got named the honey bottoms, and they are doing just fine. There is a whole box of baby larvae in the bottom box, and presumably soon there will be honey in the top. I would go up this weekend to check on them, but it's going to be thunderstorming, and they will not like that. I went to check on them one time when it was overcast. It was like the first time more than one stung me. I was like, let's not do that again. So we learned our lesson, didn't we, baby? We learned that lesson. Oh, she looks so sleepy. Can you see her eyes closed? They close. And she's like, I need to sleep. She's also waiting for Friday. There we go. See that baby, that sleepy baby face. She's also waiting for Friday so we can have a weekend together. Because this week, man, I never thought that I would care this much about what happened to the United States Supreme Court. And yet, okay, here, I'll put you back in your warm place. I'll be right back. Hold on. So I am excited though to do a vlog for Worldcon this year. It is coming up in like 2 months, which means that my first and foremost priority is to read Kim Stanley Robinson's, what is it, New York 2143. That's, the date is wrong on that, I know it. But that is my first priority. I do have a copy. I just have yet to read it. I might actually wind up downloading it on audiobook so I can listen to it in the mornings. If you have enjoyed it, let me know. It's the last thing I need to read to be like fully caught up with the novels. And I'm super excited. Like it is the time, my friends. It is the time. And then, of course, I'm just looking forward to going to Worldcon and being in San Jose for a couple of days and seeing Rachel and Claire. And this year I get to meet Joe, which is going to be a super, super fun time. You guys, I'm sure, know Joe from Final Blow Joe. But anyway, that is what I'm looking forward to. I should be with you any day now with a review. Let me know if you want that review to be of Summerland by Hanu Rayanyemi, Never Rolled Wake by Marisha Pessel, or The Poppy War by R.F. Kwang. I'm not sure how you say that last name. I'll look it up before I do a formal review because that would be embarrassing. Anyways, I enjoy you all. And thank you guys for helping me get through, because knowing that at the very least, if I go online and I just rant for like 20 minutes, someone is going to maybe listen is kind of a big relief. And I needed that today.